Fayol principles of management. Okay, so before we start Fayol's principles of management, let us know who is Henry Fayol. See, Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol is known as the father of management. Henry Fayol is known as the father of management studies. Okay, Henry Fayol has given 14 principles of management. Means Henry Fayol is actually a management theorist. Okay, he is actually a mining engineer, and he run a company for 30 years, and during his experience he developed many principles, he developed many rules and many laws as how to manage the organization in an efficient and an effective way. Okay, so let us see what all principles he has given. Means Henry Fayol has given 14 principles. How many principles he has given? 14 principles. That is why it is said that Henry Fayol's 14 principles of management. Means Henry Fayol has given total 14 principles or total 14 rules and laws to manage the organization. Means the manager of the organization can apply all these principles in their organization and can actually run the organization in an effective way. So let us see what all principles Henry Fayol has given. Now we'll start with the first principle, that is division of work. See, what do you mean by division of work? Work is divided in small tasks and jobs, and each work is done by trained specialists, which leads to greater efficiency and specialization. Okay, so what does division of work says, or what does this principle says? Division of work says that all the work of the organization should be divided into small jobs. Means all the tasks of the organization should be divided into small jobs, and each jobs should be performed by the trained specialist. Means all the jobs of the organization, whether it is a production job, it is a sales job, it is a marketing job, every job has to be done by the trained specialist. Means the specialists or the experts who are trained in that particular field, it has to be done by them. And when they keep on doing the work again and again, means whenever, like for example, see, if you will do a work constantly, means अगर आप एक ही चीज़ को 10 बार करेंगे, then you will become expert in that work, you will become master in that work. Okay, तो आप उस चीज़ में क्या बन जाओगे? Specialization हो जाएगा आपका उस चीज़ में, you will have specialized knowledge about that particular things. Okay, in the same way, this principle says that work can be divided into small tasks. Means all the works of the organization should be divided into small tasks, and all the task has to be done by the trained specialist who are actually trained to do the work, that particular work, which leads to the greater efficiency and specialization. Ultimately the employees, what happens, the employees does the same work again and again, and by doing the work again and again, they get what? They get specialization. It means that they become specialized in their job, and they become the masters of their work. Okay, so that is why it is said that in an organization the manager should apply division of work. Why the division of work principle should be applied? Division of work principle should be applied so that the employees can perform the task in an efficient way and become specialized in their work and become and can get the mastery over the work by doing that work again and again. And plus, division of work means it has to be divided, all the work has to be divided in small tasks or small jobs, so that the workload of the people or workload of the employees will be reduced from one to, it will be equally distributed to other. It will reduce from only one person and it will be equally distributed to all others. That is why it is essential to apply these principles of management. Now the next principle given by Henry Fayol is authority and responsibility. What does this principle says? Authority and responsibility. See, authority means power to take decisions, and responsibility means obligation to complete the job assigned on time. So what do you mean by authority? Authority means power to take decision. Authority means anybody who has given the authority or who has the authority has the power, means they can utilize their power to take any decisions. And responsibility means obligation to complete the job, means it is the obligation to complete the job, means it is whenever you give the responsibility to somebody, then they are like it is compulsory for them or it is their responsibility to complete the job on time. So authority and responsibility principles given by Henry Fayol says that authority and responsibility, authority means power to take decision, means the person who has the authority, he has the power to take the decisions, and the person who has the responsibility, it means that they have to fulfill their job on time. Now authority and responsibility should go hand in hand. It is written that they should go hand in hand. Mere responsibility without authority makes an executive less interested in discharging his duties. Similarly, giving authority without assigning responsibility makes him arrogant, and there is a fear of misuse of power. See, it says that this principle, authority and responsibility, says that authority and responsibility should go hand in hand, means there should be balance between authority and responsibility. It means that any of the person, means manager should not give any person too much of authority or too much of responsibility. For example, let us take an example. If a person is given the responsibility to produce 100 units, means a person is given the responsibility that they have to produce 100 units in 1 week, means they have to produce 100 units in 1 week, but he has not given the authority to purchase the raw material. It means that a person has to produce 100 units, so he, for the production purpose, he needs to purchase the raw material, means the manager has given them the responsibility that you have to, like, the person has to produce 100 units in a week, means he has given the responsibility to the employee that you have to produce the goods, but the manager has not given the authority to purchase the raw materials. Then the person or the employee, if the person or the employee don't have the authority to purchase the raw materials, then how will he start the production work? So that is why it is said that if a manager gives authority to a person, then he should give the same amount of responsibility. And when the manager gives responsibility to the employee, then he should give the same amount of authority to the employee, so that he can start their work and complete the work on time. That is why it is said that authority and responsibility is something that goes hand in hand, means there should be balance between authority and responsibility. The manager should never do like this, that they should never give excess of authority and they should never give excess of responsibility. Okay, there should be always balance between authority and responsibility. Okay, now for example, if a person, okay, if a person has given, like if there is no raw material available in the storeroom, then you understood that he could not complete the target of producing 100 units on time, then the person can be blamed for not completing the task on time. This is what happens when there is, like, there is difference between authority and responsibility. Okay, therefore this principle says that there should be always a balance between authority and responsibility. If a person has given the responsibility to do something, then they should be given the authority also, so that they can take the decisions to fulfill their responsibilities, right? So our first principle given by Henry Fayol was division of work. Division of work says that the work should be divided into small groups so that it is easy for everybody to carry out their work, and each work should be done by the trained specialists so that they do the work in a most efficient and effective way. Plus, it leads to the greater efficiency and specialization. A person when he does the same work again and again, he gains specialization in that work, means he becomes master in that work. Now the second principle of Henry Fayol says that Like authority and responsibility, he says that authority means power to take decisions, means a person has the power to take any decisions, and responsibility means the person has the duty to complete the work on time. So manager, like according to this principle, it says that the manager should keep a balance between authority and responsibility. He should not give excess of authority without matching responsibility, and he should not give excess of responsibility without matching authority. There should always a balance between authority and responsibility. Now, coming to the third principle of Henry Fayol, that is discipline. What does this principle says? It is the obedience to organizational rule by the subordinates. Discipline requires good supervisors at all levels, clear and fair agreements, and judicial application of penalties. See, discipline is very simple. This principle says that in an organization, it is not only the duty of the subordinates, to be in discipline, but discipline is something which has to be followed at all the levels. Means whether they are, like we have studied in the first chapter, there are 3 levels of management: the top level, the middle level, and the lower level. So discipline is something that should not be only for the subordinate. Subordinate means generally the superior. Superior means the who has the higher position. Subordinate means who has the lower position. So it should not be like that the superior should enjoy everything and they should not follow any discipline, but this should be like that the subordinate as well as the superior, both of them should have discipline in their work. There should be discipline among them both. This will show the coordination and union among both the superiors as well as subordinate. That is why this says that if anybody will not if anybody in the organization will not go as per the discipline, then he can be charged the penalties. Okay, so that is why this principle says that there should be discipline in the organization. It does not mean that only the subordinate or only the lower level management should obey or go as per the discipline, but it is the work of superiors also, plus all the levels of management, whether it is top level, middle level, or lower level. Every levels of management should obey the rules and regulations of the company and should work in proper discipline. And the one who does not work or go out of the line of discipline, then they will be charged the penalties. Okay, so these are the 3 principles that we studied here, that is division of work, authority and responsibility, discipline. Now moving to the next principles of management given by Henry Fayol, the fourth one. Okay, so the fourth principle given by Henry Fayol is unity of command. What does this principle says? Let us see. See, unity of command says that it implies that every worker should receive orders and instructions from one superior only. Okay, it says that all the workers or all the employees of the organization should receive orders from one superior only. Otherwise, it will create confusion, conflict, disturbances, and overlapping of activities. Okay, see, what does this principle says? This principle says that in an organization, if an employee is getting the orders from more than one boss, then there can be the chances that he gets confused to do or to listen whom. Okay, to do what and to listen whom, because there are 2 boss who is sitting over his head and commanding him. Okay, so he may get confused to obey whom. Okay, so unity of command says that there should be only one superior. Means you can see in this diagram, see, unity of command says that under one subordinate, means under one subordinate there should be only one superior. Means under a subordinate there should be only one higher superior, or there should be only one boss. Okay, and this is the correct one. Now this one, see this diagram, there are 3 superiors, 1, 2 and 3, and the subordinate has to listen the orders of all the three superiors. Okay, they have to listen the order of all the three superiors. So in this condition, what happens, there can be the chance of confusion, there can be the chance of conflict or disturbance, because the subordinate will not understand or will get confused to do what, because he's getting orders from three boss. Okay, so he will get confused, as he will not understand what to do. That is why unity of command says that there should be only one superior over one subordinate. This is the unity of command, one boss over one subordinate. There should not be more than one boss over a subordinate. Okay, now coming to the next principle, that is unity of direction. What does this principle says? See, unity of direction, each group of activities having the same objective must have one head, one plan. See, unity of direction says that there should be one head, one plan. This ensures unity of action and coordination. See, I'll explain this with the help of an example. See, suppose an automobile company has three division. Okay, a company, like for example, you can take a Reliance company also. Okay, Reliance company also has many division. He has one division of cloth, he has second division of like your technology, like automobile. Now coming to the fifth principle, that is unity of direction. What does unity of direction says? Each group of activities having the same objective must have one head, one plan. Means each group who have the same objective should go towards one direction. Means there should be one head and there should be one plan. These ensures unity in action and coordination. For example, see, there is an automobile company. An automobile company has two divisions. The automobile company produces car also, and he produces the scooters also. Okay, it produces scooters also. So now each division, means there are two divisions, one is car division, another is scooters division. Okay, so each division must have its own target. Okay, each product has its own market and has its own problems, etc. So see, it generally says that a company can have more than one division. Okay, a company can have more than one division. Like for example, you say Reliance, then Reliance, in the Reliance industry, one is clothing industry, and other is also you can also say a Reliance food market is also there. Okay, now Reliance is also in the gadgets also, technological market. Okay, so in this way what happens, that one company can have more than one division. Okay, he can produce more than one variety of products, so he has to focus on all, like each one of division. Like he has to focus on the, like Reliance industry has to focus on the clothing division also, then he has to focus on the Reliance food market also. Then every division has their own targets to achieve, so he should not neglect any division. He has to focus on each division, and he has to focus to achieve the goals of each division. That is why I have given you the example, like very simple example. Suppose like you have an automobile company and you have two division, you are producing car also and producing scooter also, but production of scooter is completely another division, and production of car is another division. There are two separate division, and the two division has two separate objectives, has two separate goals, have two separate set of plans, have two separate problems. Means they are completely different from one another. So the company should focus on both the divisions equally to to fulfill the target or to reach the goal. Okay, that is why it is said that there should be one head, one plans. Means for one plan, like for one division, there should be one head, means one direction. Everybody should go in one direction to fulfill the organizational goal. Then only there will be unity and coordination in the activity. Okay, if they will not focus on their division, then it may happen that if the company is running more than one division, then there can be conflict, or there can be confusion, or there can be chaos between both the division. That is why person who is working under one division should focus on achieving their goal, and the person who is working under other division should focus on achievement of their goals. That is why it is said that unity of direction should be there. Now, this was the fifth principle given by Henry Fayol. Till now we have studied five principles of Henry Fayol. That is, first one was division of work, second is authority and responsibility, third is discipline, fourth is unity of command, and fifth is unity of direction. Now, coming to the sixth principle of Henry Fayol says that subordination of individual interest to general interest. What does this principle says? The interest of an organization should take priority over the interest of any one individual employee. For example, a manager cancels his pleasure trip in order to attain an important meeting in the company. Like, it is very simple to understand. See, subordination of individual interest to general interest means individual interest. See, every employees in the organization have their own personal interest, means they also wants to enjoy or fulfill their interest while working. Okay, they have their own set of goals. Okay, they have their own interest, but all in all, like, everybody is working together to fulfill the organizational goal. So this principle says that whatever the individual goals or whatever the individual interests are there of the employees, they should subordinate their interest over the general interest, means they should keep their interest at the bottom and they should give priority to the organizational interest. Means, in the simple way, you can say that in whatever condition, all the employees of the organization should give more important to achieve the organizational goal rather than thinking about their own personal goals. For example, a manager cancels his pleasure trip means he has individual interest, means it is his choice to go on a tour or trip, but he has to attend an important meeting in the company, and that is why he cancelled. It means that he gave his company or he gave his work or organization more importance than his own personal interest of enjoying the holiday. Okay, so this principle says that you should have your own interest. You should, like, employees should fulfill their own interest, but they should think for the organization first, and then they should think about their own personal interest. Okay, now coming to the next principle, that is remuneration of employees. What do you mean by remuneration? As I told you many times, see, remuneration means the money or the salary which is given to the employees. Okay, so remuneration of employees, what does this principle says? Remuneration of employees says that remuneration of employees should be just and equitable, so as to give maximum satisfaction to both the employees and the organization. Okay, so remuneration of employees, this principle says that the employees should be given equitable, means equal salary. Okay, equal salary and fair wages. Okay, as it is given in the sentence, the employee should be paid fair wages and salary, which would give at least a reasonable standard of living. Means the company or the manager should not discriminate among the employees on the basis of anything. Okay, they should not discriminate one employees with the other employees, and they should give fair and equal wages or salary to all the employees depending upon their position in which they are working. Okay, now coming to the next principle, that says centralization and decentralization. What do you mean by centralization, decentralization? See, centralization means concentration of authority or power in few hands, generally at the top level. Okay, centralization means concentration of decision making authority in few hands at the top level. Means centralization is a condition in which the power, authority means the power to take decision, as we have studied in the second principle, authority. What do you mean by authority? Authority means power to take decision. It means that one person or one employee has the power to take the decision of the company. Okay, so authority means they have the power. So centralization says that in an organization, see, in an organization, for example, I'll explain this principle with the help of example. See, if you will talk about very small organization, if you will talk about sole proprietorship, Okay, or if you will talk about like sole proprietorship means when there is only one owner who is running the business. Okay, so in that condition all the power is with the owner, he does not has any other partner, so he has the complete authority to take the decisions. In that case there is centralization of power. Okay, centralization power means all the powers are in his hand. There is no distribution of power, means there are no other managers in his company, or there are no other owners of the company. Okay, he is the only owner, so all the powers are in his hand, because he has the small shop, he has small business, he can run the business all by himself alone. Okay, so all the powers are in his hand. But when you talk about big company or big business, it cannot be run by one owner, or it cannot be run by one manager. Okay, it cannot be managed by one single manager, so there are more than one manager. So more than one manager means all the managers have some amount of authority, means all the managers have some amount of powers with them, means there are distribution of powers. The power is not in the hand of single owner, it is spreading to all the owner, it is equally spread to all the owners. So this is what centralization and decentralization. Centralization says that the power will be in few hand. Few hand means only some people. Okay, generally the top level management. Okay, now decentralization means evenly distribution of power at every level of management. Okay, like in the first chapter we have studied, there are three levels of management, that is top level, middle level and your lower level. Top level consists of generally your higher level managers, like your CEO, chief executive officer, board of directors, president, vice president, chairman, like these kind of persons are there in the top level management. So centralization says that if in an organization centralization is there, it means that the powers are only with the top level management, only in the few hands of the owners. But if in an organization there is decentralization, it means that all the managers have equal amount of powers, means the powers are not in one hand, but it is equally distributed to all the management, both at the middle level also and at the lower level also. Okay, both should be balanced, as no organization can be completely centralized and no or completely decentralized. Okay, generally in case of very small organization where there is no need of more than one owner, then definitely they go for centralization, means they apply centralization in their organization in which they have only the power to take all the decision. But if you will talk about any of the business, then centralization will not work, because the only single manager, means only the one manager will not be able to manage the company, they require more than one manager. Then they have to apply which principle, not the centralization, but they have to apply both centralization and decentralization, means there should be balance between both the principle, means some powers should be in the hand of top level management, some power should be in the hand of middle level management, and some power should be in the hand of lower level management. Okay, now coming to the next principle, that is scalar chain. Okay, now what does this principle says? Scalar chain, the formal lines of authority between superiors and subordinates from the highest to lowest rank is known as scalar chain. The chain should not be violated, but in emergency employees at same level can contact through gangplank by informing their immediate superiors. See, what does this means? Scalar chain is a principle which says that the authority between superiors and subordinate from the highest to lowest, means he says that who belongs to which position and how much power they are given. Like if the person, or if the person is at the higher position, then he has more power. If the person is at the lower position, then he has less power. Okay, I'll explain this with the help of this diagram. See, here A, B, C, D. In one side you can see A, B, C, D, and the other side you see A, E, F, G. A is at the topmost position. After A, B and E. After B and E, C and F. And after C and F, D and G. So in this way they are set in the organization. Generally you can see A will have the highest authority, means A will have the highest power, then less than A, B and C will have the power, and less than B and E, B and E will have the power, and less than B and E, C and F will have the powers, and less than C and F, D and G will have the power. Okay, now if they want to communicate with each other, how they will communicate? In the proper hierarchy. It means that the lower level cannot go directly to the upper level, and they cannot contact with them directly. It means that they have to go in chain. For example, if when we talk about lower level, D and G are lower level. If G wants to communicate with A, then he cannot go directly and communicate with A. This is wrong. He has to go through proper channel, means G will contact F first, then F will go to E, and then E will go to A. In this way, this chain will go one by one. So scalar chain says that in an organization, everybody belongs to different position, and everybody has different powers. The lower level of, like, lower level managers, or lower level, we can say, employees or the subordinates, cannot contact or cannot communicate directly to the upper level managers or upper level employees. Okay, so they have to go in chain, one by one, okay, in proper hierarchy. But in case of emergency, okay, it is written the chain should not be violated, but in case of emergency, only when some emergency comes in an organization, then the employees at the same level can contact through gang plank. Okay, gang plank. This is GANGPLANK, gang plank. Okay, it says that in case of emergency, same level of, like, employees at same level, for example, if in organization some emergency comes, okay, then in that case D can communicate directly with G, okay, C can communicate directly with F, B can communicate directly with E, means they belong to the same level. D and G, C and F belong to same level, B and E belong to same level. It means that they can communicate with each other in case of emergency. But without that, if the emergency is not there, then they have to go as per the sequence this way to communicate any information. Okay, now coming to the 10th principle, that is order, principle of order. According to this principle of order, a right person should be placed to a right job, and a right material should be placed at the right place. Very correct. Order means, this principle says that in an organization everything should be in order, whether we talk about a material thing or whether we talk about a non-material thing, that is human being. Okay, human being are non-material thing. Okay, so everything should be put in proper order, means there should be, means a right person should be placed at right job, means in an organization a person should be placed at the right job position so that he can fully utilize his knowledge and skills and give the best to the company. If he has put to the other job, or he has put to the wrong place where he don't have any knowledge about that job, then there can be the chances that he cannot give benefit to the company. Okay, so it is needed that the company or the business house should place right person at the right job, so that the person has the complete knowledge about that job, and he will give all the benefits to the job, and he will help the all the benefit to the organization, and he will help the organization to achieve the organizational goal. Plus, right material should be placed at right place, means all the materials means your tools, equipments, like your machineries, anything. Okay, it should have the right place, means all the material should be placed at right, so all the material should be placed at right place, because whenever we require some material, it should not be like we keep on searching and we cannot get the material at the right time. That is why, in order to reduce the, like, wastage of time, in order to reduce the wastage of time, it is said that every material, like tools, equipments, everything should be placed in right order, so whenever the people, or whenever the employees or manager needs it, they can acquire it. According to this principle, of fuel, every enterprise should have two different orders, that is material order for physical resources and social order for human resources. Means it says that every organization should follow this principle of order. Means they first order is, that is material order, second order is, first order is material order, second order is social order. It means that every material should be placed in the right place, like every tools, every machinery, every equipment should be kept in the right place, so that whenever it is needed, they can acquire it. Social order, every time right person should be placed at right position, so that he has the complete knowledge of that job and he will do the job to give the complete benefit to the company. Okay, so there should be two orders, and both the orders should go as per the principles of order in the organization. Okay, now coming to the next principle, that is equity. Now we have already studied 10 principles of Henry Fayol. One time we will do a quick review. The first principle was division of work, the second was authority and responsibility, the third discipline. Now the fourth is unity of command, fifth is unity of direction, sixth is subordination of individual interest to general interest, seventh is remuneration of employees, eighth is centralization and decentralization, ninth is scalar chain, 10 is order. You have to remember all these principles and their meaning very well. Okay, now moving to the next principle, that is equity. What does equity says? The working environment of any organization should be free from all the forms of discrimination like religion, language, caste, gender, belief or nationality, and principles of justice and fair play should be followed in the organization. No worker should be unduly favored or punished. Principle of equity says that in an organization everybody should be given equal importance, that the manager should not discriminate any employee on the basis of their religion, language, caste, gender, etc., and they should give them equal justice, and they should always be fair to them, they should never cheat them, and no worker should be unduly favored or punished. Means unwantedly any person should not be favored, like no partiality should be there, and any employee should not be punished unwantedly. There should be fair play all the time. There should be fairness in the activities of the organization. Now coming to the next principle, that is stability of personnel. Stability means स्थिरता. Okay, stable होना, which is completely stable, स्थिर रहना एक जगह पे. Now stability of personnel. Personnel here means the employees. Okay, stability of personnel. This principle says that according to this principle, employees once selected should be kept at their position for a minimum fixed tenure. They should be given reasonable time to show result. See, many times it happens in the organization that the people keep on switching the organization. Means they are not satisfied with one place, so they move to the another workplace. In this way what happens, there is no stability. Means they are not stable at one job position, they keep on changing their job position like the employees. Okay, but this principle, stability of personnel, says that the manager of the organization or the owner of the organization who is managing the company, he should give complete benefit, or he should support the employee, or he should motivate the employee, and he should patiently wait for the employees to show up the result, and he should give the time to employees, so that he can really show up what he can do for the organization. If the manager will support the employee, if the manager will motivate the employee, definitely he will do something good for the organization, and he will feel motivated, the employee will feel motivated, and he will feel like yes, he is satisfied with the job as the manager is supporting him and he is working or he is doing good for the organization. Okay, so if he feels happy by his job and if he feels satisfied by his job, then he will not switch to the other company, or he will not switch to the other job position. Then only there will be stability in an organization. See, if in an organization there is no stability of person, means if in an organization a people come and they keep on changing to the other company, then the company is not going to work properly. Okay, if the company is if a company wants to go or to run longer, then they need loyal employees, and the loyal employees are made how? Means the company should completely support their employees and give them the time so that they show up their good results. In this way they will feel more motivated and they will feel more dedicated towards the work, towards their work, and in this way they will be encouraged to stay in their company and they will be satisfied with their job and they will not change their job from one company to another. In this way the company will be benefited, and as they had lot of loyal customer and there is stability of the personnel, the people like personnel, the employees are not changing their job position, then the company will definitely run long and will definitely attain maximum growth. Now the next principle of initiative. Initiative says that initiative, what do you mean by initiative? Initiative means to take फर्स्ट स्टेप. ठीक है, हमेशा किसी चीज़ की शुरुआत करना, टू इनिशिएट समथिंग, टू स्टार्ट समथिंग और टू टेक द फर्स्ट स्टेप. व्हाट डज दिस प्रिंसिपल सेज? Workers should be encouraged to develop and carry out their plans for improvement. Workers should be encouraged to develop and carry out their plans for the improvement. Initiative means taking the first step with self motivation. It is thinking out and executing the plan. See, initiative means, this principle says that the manager should encourage the workers, means the manager should motivate the worker, manager should guide the worker, manager should boost up the morale of the worker, they should encourage the worker to do good and carry out their plans. Means the manager should not always they should not always dominate the employees, they should not always put their plans on the employees, but the manager should give the employees liberty to do the things as per them, as per their own plan. Means the manager should not here dominate the employees and they should not completely dominate and give them their plans to do and execute the plans in their way. Means it should not dominate the employee, but the manager should give the liberty of, or the manager should encourage them to think about different things or to take the decision by themselves, to plan out the things by themselves. And in this way what will happen, they will be they will initiate for the new things. Okay, because the manager is completely giving them all the freedom to do the things by themselves. So in that way the employees of the organization will feel more motivated and will feel more encouraged to do the things by themselves and not under the suppression. They will not be under any suppression of the other managers. Okay, they are given completely freedom to do the things by themselves. Okay, so this principle says that in an organization the manager should give the employees the liberty and the freedom to initiate things, to start new things as per their plans, so that they will feel more motivated. Okay, now coming to the next, that is the last principle of Henry Fayol, that is Esprit de Corps. This is Esprit de Corps. What do you mean by Esprit de Corps? See, Esprit de Corps, this principle says that management should promote team spirit, unity, harmony among the employees. See, this principle, Esprit de Corps means the teamwork. Okay, so this principle says that management should always promote team spirit, and there should be unity among all the employees, whether they are at whichever level they belong, whether they belong to top level, middle level, lower level. Among all the level there should be unity, and among all level harmony should be there. Harmony means smooth. Okay, the smooth flow of information should be there, smooth working conditions should be there, there should not be any conflict, there should not be any chaos, there should not be any disturbances. Okay, they should work together in a group to attain the organizational goal. And due to this, they will this will encourage mutual trust and belongingness, and due to which when people of the organization, when the employees of the organization come together, then they attain mutual trust, means एक दूसरे में उनमें क्या आ जाता है, एक दूसरे के लिए ट्रस्ट आ जाता है एक दूसरे के लिए. सो व्हेन दे ट्रस्ट ईच अदर देन देयर विल बी अ सेंस ऑफ बिलोंगिंगनेस, मीन्स वो एक दूसरे के साथ एक म्यूचुअल ट्रस्ट बिल्डअप कर लेते हैं, एंड दे फील लाइक मोटिवेटेड टू डू द वर्क in best possible way. Okay, so that is why it is said that the management or the manager should promote or should encourage the people to work together as a team. This will help them to grow together, and this will bring unity in the organization. This will help the organization to run their work very smoothly, as there will be mutual trust among the employees. Okay, so these are the 14 principles given by Henry Fayol. Quickly we'll go through each. The first is division of work, second is authority and responsibility, third is discipline, fourth is unity of command, fifth is unity of direction, sixth is subordination of individual interest to general interest, seventh is remuneration of employees, eighth is centralization and decentralization, ninth is scalar chain, 10th is order, 11th is equity, 12th is stability of personnel, 13th is initiative, and 14th is esprit de corps. See, these are the 14 principles of management which was given by Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol says that these principles are observed, experimented and tested, and they prove right. Okay, so these principles should be applied in the organization or should be applied in the business by the manager, so that the manager will run the organization in most effective and efficient way by applying all these principles.